In Nigeria, the way politics go can be very unpredictable. For instance, in 1998, General Olusegun Obasanjo was brought out of jail to become president. Then he handed over to Katsina State Governor Musa Yar'Adua, who was ailing and was soon succeeded by his VP, Goodluck Jonathan. Jonathan's emergence as VP had been no less dramatic, as his nomination simply shattered the hopes of those who had earlier seemed more formidable. Then, in 2015, the tables changed again as General Muhammadu Buhari, who had served the office 3 times earlier, became the beautiful bride. Ahead of the presidential poll, and then went on to clinch the position as president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces. So, does all of this indicate a pattern to be featured in 2023, or is there going to be a new approach? No one can bet on anything yet. Except the pundits and experts are beginning to postulate.
If you get a good leadership that links with the people, that tries to talk with the people, not talking on top of the people, then we would be okay. I have started visualizing a good Nigerian leader.
Who is that?
A person who travels in this country and has a friend virtually everywhere he travels. He knows at least one person that he can communicate with. A person who is very vast in economy because of the development. And then a good politician who should be able to talk to the Nigerians and so on. I have seen 1 or 2 or 3 already.
Young, middle-aged, elderly?
60s. Yeah.
You think that person should emerge in 2023?
I believe so, if we could get him.
Well, this day came up with a list of 31 potential candidates, and tonight we'll look at the prospects of the 31. We're now joined by Mahmoud Jega, Rise News analyst, and Dr. Sam Amadi, who will be joining us remotely. Thank you so much, both of you gentlemen, for joining us. Let's begin with Yemi Oshibajo, who makes number 1 on that list. Born in 1957, currently, of course, the vice president, a professor of law. He has undergraduate degree at University of Lagos, and on and on and on. Some are saying he really should be the most likely person to, step into the shoes. Maybe we'll explore that even further when we return from this short bit. But, briefly, in 30 seconds.
Anybody who has been vice president for 8 years should be a frontline candidate to succeed to the presidency. But beyond that, Professor Osibanjo is extremely capable technocratically, even though he is a bit of a political lightweight.
We'll go now to Dr. Sam Amadi to give a quick response to what Jega talked about, the current vice president. Maybe in 30, 45 seconds. What do you think about the vice president taking over?
I think great. I think in normal situation, it should be a line of succession. And again, he has the qualities. Maybe what he needs to build more is that courage and the sense in which Nigeria needs somebody who can also speak up and intervene more often to solve the crisis. But he's a good candidate. He ought to be ordinarily be number 1 contender for that position.
If I'm close to him, I'll advise him not to bother at all. He's vice president. He'll have to tender some credential for somebody like him to continue after his boss as president. Professor Sibajo is a sound scholar, professor of exceptional standing in his own capacities, not in these days of fake scholarship. And so you can't contest that, this man has a massive profile.
All right, Peter Obi, 2-time governor, Anambra State, former vice presidential candidate. What do you think, Mahmoud Jega? Does he tick the boxes?
Peter Obi is also highly respected as a banker and as a governor, and he's a matured man. On the few occasions that I listen to him, he makes a lot of sense.
What do you think of the possible chances of Governor Kauri Fayemi of Ekiti State?
Well, Spires would be a good candidate. He's suave, he has strong political exposure and connections.